Dealing with a narcissist is as exhausting as it is excruciatingly painful. From trying to have a conversation with them that only ever gets you a whole lot of nowhere, except perhaps more confused than when the conversation started, to giving every ounce of your kindness, compassion, love, and efforts in attempting to meet their ludicrous and forever changing expectations. But why the vast majority who come to find ourselves in this unfortunate situation remain continuously in search of some solution to make things better, or at the very least, to where being around them is tolerable enough that won't result in our wanting to rip our own hair out in the process, isn't because we enjoy insurmountable amounts of pain, our lives chock full of unnecessary chaos, or get pleasure out of being demeaned, demoralized, and insulted. It is because narcissists strategically go about creating a state of mental mayhem in others' minds in such a subtle manner that when you even start to pick up on it, it comes off more like some strange run of bad jokes, forgetfulness, or played out by the narcissist like you are the one that's just taking things completely out of context, so that you don't even fully realize just how abusive they are being until it becomes so bad that there is no other way but to see it. And at this point, chances are you are now trauma bonded, guilt tripped, gaslit, brainwashed, and programmed by them to conform, financially restricted or fully controlled, have been stripped of any other support system, and have been subjected to their emotional warfare for so long that the limited beliefs they have methodically implanted into your psyche have corroded your reality, confidence, and sense of self. And then only to add to the difficulty and really seals the deal on making it feel damn near impossible to just cut ties with them is that this person who is deliberately sabotaging your life, crazy making your mind, and sucking the soul from your being is someone that you have deeply cared about, loved, and invested your life into. They are your significant other, your family members, your friends, making you more prone to want to give them the benefit of the doubt, as well as making it almost unfathomable to wrap your head around how this person could intentionally be so hateful and hurtful. And though no relationship is perfect, and there are going to be issues, conflicts, and disagreements within every relationship that we have with other people, but the ways that one would go about anything in a quote-unquote normal or typical relationship, from their interactions to the way that they communicate, resolving conflict, or even as much as agree to disagree, you can go ahead and chuck out the window because they are not applicable when what you are working with is a narcissist. For one, a relationship to them isn't about connecting, reciprocity, understanding, belonging, or closeness. In their mind, there's no such thing as compromise, mutual respect, partnership, or teamwork. And if they peg you as the one to blame for their wrongdoing, the one they have chosen to project their issues onto, and or view as a threat or see as questioning their authority, they're going to do whatever it takes to take you out in order to protect their delusional image of being some kind of superlative, first-class, grade A hunk of human being. And with their black and white mentality and everything being one end of the extreme or the other, in order for them to remain dictator of Fantasyland Island, their perceptions, interpretations, and opinions are like a one-way street with a dead end. Because without this fantastical ideation and belief of themselves, they are nothing. They have no true identity, no core sense of self, no true likes, interest, hobbies, values, or uniqueness whatsoever. There is nothing authentic about these people at all. Nothing more than an empty vessel, shape-shifting, demonic chameleon, morphing themselves into whatever persona will benefit them the most to see to it that they are seen or come off as being the victim, victor, or hero, based off of what deceptive trick they are trying to pull off, who is in front of them at any given moment, and whether or not their manipulation is in means of trying to brown nose, impress, gaslight, or gain sympathy ploys. Period. Because in the mind of a narcissist, every thought that crosses over the threshold of their mind, every action and every move that they make begins and ends in a manner to ensure that they keep this delusional image alive. And for two, because the prolonged abuse, mental torture, brainwashing, and gaslighting you into believing that you are the problem, you are unworthy and not enough, convinced you that the rest of the world is against you or out to get you through triangulation and isolating you from your family and friends, invalidating your feelings, depleting your confidence, and training you to always be concerned about their needs, wants, and desires above all else, that you eventually begin walking on eggshells and tiptoeing around them as to not wake the beast within or to try to appease them, and in turn, not thinking or making decisions from a place that has your best interest in the equation at all, and likely don't even truly know who you actually is anymore. From there, strategically brain fucking you every which way possible and twice on Sunday to see to it that you don't. And well, it's pretty hard to establish any kind of personal boundary, let alone then enforce them, when you don't even know who in the fuck you even are anymore. Stuck in a permanent state of fight or flight, so your brain no longer operating off of logic and reason, have learned the hard way what will happen if you as much as dare look at them in the wrong way, have so much brain fog surrounding the whirlpool of thoughts plaguing your mind as it's doing its best to try to make some sort of sense out of what in the hell is happening, that it has all of the hows, whys, what ifs, if onlys, shoulda, coulda, wouldas, if it were a snake, it'd bit me in the asses, going off in your head like some kind of never-ending grand finale firework extravaganza. But even if you tried to set firm boundaries with a narcissist, clear-minded, and with the confidence of a peacock, it is not going to matter, as they are going to deliberately overstep and make it a known point that they couldn't give a single shit about your boundaries any more than they could your feelings or opinions. Because in their mind, they don't exist and are certainly not wanted. Now, sure, they can talk a good game by knowing just the right things to say, as they are blowing more smoke up your ass than 10 large factories pollute the air with. In a month, they can outsell the world's best salesman to get others to buy in to their bullshit, pull an excuse or way to one-up you out from under their britches with the quickness of lightning, change the subject of a conversation, or gaslight you into believing that you are the batshit crazy one, or just making stuff up in your head and have no idea what you're talking about without skipping a beat or batting an eyelash as they're doing it. But once again, it is nothing more than their way to make certain that all roads lead back and dead end, with seeing themselves as being more almighty than God. You are not going to fix, salvage, or find a solution that makes being around these individuals one that is consistent with having a life to which your best interest is in place, your overall well-being isn't jeopardized, your safety is not compromised, your independence and rights won't be violated, and any sense of joy, pleasure, happiness, and peace aren't sacrificed. There isn't enough love and compassion in the world. No boundary that they will not blow to smithereens in efforts to see to it that they can step over. No words or way of explaining yourself that will get them see your perspective or view you as an equal or even as your own person. Therapy and counseling will only end up backfiring. Their apologies will always be as empty as their promises, and they will not stop trying to manipulate, control, deceive, deflect the blame, and suck the life from your being until you cut their ass off and remove yourself from the equation, as that truly is the only solution when dealing with a narcissist or a narcissistic psychopath. The only way to make their twistedly wicked game come to an end, and the only way to get back your life, your sanity, and your freedom. It sucks. It's tough, but so are you. Remember who you are. Remember your worth. A life where someone values and sees your worth, who validates your feelings and opinions, who is dependable and reliable and won't stab you in the back as you're defending theirs, who celebrates your accomplishments, picks you up when you're down, who inspires you to keep trying when you feel like giving up, and who calls you out when you're veering down the wrong path, or just plain and simply being an a-hole. Someone who reciprocates your love and who sees the importance and virtue in honesty, humility, integrity, and humanity, which is never going to happen staying with one of these deplorable meat sacks, as they are inherently evil beings with a total disregard for others and don't give a single fuck about anything but their image, being in control and feeling more powerful than anyone else. And well, they can play God all they want, pretend that they are more saintly than Christ, more generous than Saint Nick, have more pack to their punch than Mike Tyson, more patience than Mother Teresa, and more of a miracle than Virgin Mary giving birth to baby Jesus. But just because they pretend as if they are nothing short of perfection doesn't make it true or any more real than you standing in a garage making engine sounds with your mouth makes you an automobile. The only perfect thing about them is being perfectly delusional. And the only solution to dealing with a narcissist is to simply don't. And that is the extent of it. You are worth and deserve so much more. Love yourself enough to be free of all of their bullshit, abuse, and destroying the life that you were born to live. Fight for you. Save you. Focus on you. Fuck the narcissist.